the middle ones. Okay? So, working from magma to igneous rock, what do you know you have to do, Jaime? Cooling, good. So, we are going to cool. If you are magma and you are traveling, you know if you're magma, you're inside the mantle. Igneous rocks are on the crust, which means that they also need to rise, but most important, they need to cool. Yeah.
I was gonna say, what if you put rising?
If you put rising and cooling, that is fine too, because you do have to travel from the mantle to the crust to cool down. So make sure that you had cooling from magma to igneous rock. Lupe, do you have that? Yes? Okay. Good. The one below it, it's igneous going to magma. Rogelio. If you are going from an igneous rock to magma. What do you have to do if you go from a solid to magma? Sink and melt. Becky. And up here. Good. Becky, what do you have to do? Melt. Good. So we have melting. Remember, you're going from a solid to a liquid. You have to melt. What if you are an igneous rock and you want to become sediment? What is that process that you have to go through that's going to turn you into sediment, Ricardo?
Erosion.
Erosion, and what is that called? What?
Breaking down.
Breaking down by what things though?
Weathering.
Weathering, good. So weathering and erosion.
Is it okay to just put weathering?
If you put weathering, that's fine, but I want you to know that weathering causes erosion. Okay, so different types of weathering, Brian, are going to cause the rock to break apart. Who can give me some examples of weathering? Events that might be considered weathering, Jennifer? Snow, good. Ricardo?
Wind.
Wind, good. Abby? Rain? Rogelio? Snow, we already said that. Hail, ice. Okay, maybe you got some crazy lightning in there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anything that is weather related. Working our way down, Brian. From sediment, I'm trying to become a sedimentary rock. What is that process, Brian, where I turn from sediment into a sedimentary rock? Okay, it's not erosion. Stephanie? Deposition, good. It's compaction and cementation, but if you put deposition, I would actually prefer deposition. Right here. Sediment turning into a rock is always deposition, because it is when our sediment particles start layering on top of each other, and eventually they get so squished down that they turn into a rock. Yes, Jaime? What? Oh, okay. Our next one is sedimentary rock going to sediment. Yes. Good. Weathering and erosion. So notice, you have weathering. You have weathering and erosion twice on here. That's because any type of rock, whether it's igneous, sedimentary, or metamorphic, if it wants to become sediment, what does it have to do? Erosion or weathering. Good. Ladies, back to you a second. No? Okay. Sedimentary rock. Now I am headed to what rock? Metamorphic rock. If I am a sedimentary rock and I'm going to become a metamorphic rock, where do I go? To the mantle. So I'm doing what? I'm experiencing Crystal, heat and pressure. Good. Good. Anytime I go to a metamorphic rock, I have to experience what? Heat and pressure. Every time. You cannot have a metamorphic rock without heat and pressure. around the circle, I'm going from a metamorphic rock to magma. What am I doing? Abby? Melting, good. And notice again, melting is happening twice, going from igneous and from metamorphic to magma, because if I am a solid and I want to become magma, I have to do what? Melt. Good. All right, and we're gonna do the inner two ones together. Igneous to metamorphic. What's happening, Ricardo?
It's breaking down.
It's not breaking down. Armando? Undergoing heat and pressure. Anytime I go to a metamorphic rock, I have to undergo what, Ricardo?
Heat and pressure.
Heat and pressure, good. Metamorphic rock to sediment. Okay, so I'm a rock and I'm trying to become sediment. Yeah, Bonnie, do you have this one? What do you have? Weathering and erosion, good. So you should have heat and pressure when you are facing to a metamorphic rock. At all times, when you face a metamorphic rock, you undergo heat and pressure. At all times, when you are going to magma, you are melting. And anytime you are going to sediment, you're undergoing weathering and erosion. Okay, make sure you have this down. How many of you guys saw this and were like, oh my gosh, what is that? Anybody? How many of you, once you started, were like, this is a little harder than I thought? And how many of you guys were like, this isn't that bad? Okay. A couple of you didn't have your hand, so I'm going to think that you looked at it and were like, wow, this is so easy. I can't believe that she's giving this to us because this is way too easy. I'm going to assume that's the category that you fell into. All right, so what you guys have right now is independent practice work. There are 10 questions, and then on the bottom it has the diagram. Listen carefully. At the bottom, Armando, can you please read the directions where it says use the diagram below, loud so everyone can hear?
This is different rock combination.